In this video, we're checking out the Sprolink NeoLive R5 Pro. This is a fully functioning, updated, new live streaming switcher, which is for not only personal use, but for really professional broadcast purposes as well. We're going to take a deeper dive later on to explore all the buttons, have a look at everything that's going on, really explain to you what these ports do and what sort of use case scenarios you could use all of this. It's a very, very powerful device. That part will be in the second half of the video. If you want to skip that part, I'll put timestamps down below so you can skip that part if you want to learn more about this and, you know, have a deeper dive with me in a more relaxed environment. At the start of this video though, I'm going to just talk about the basics, what you're using this for, the specs, what you get in the box, and my user experience, just so you know all about this product. This is not sponsored by Sprolink, but they did send me the product to test out and review. It's been a while though, because, you know, it's a bit of a learning curve when it comes to something so advanced, to learn everything about it, and I'm still learning, so bear with me in this video. What is it? Basically, it is a live streaming switcher. Imagine you're watching football on the television and you see the different camera angles switch around the pitch. You go to the commentators, you go to the football pitch, you go to the overhead. They use, basically, to do that, a switcher to switch between the different camera angles in a more advanced form. This is good for smaller production, you know, teaching, lecturers. If you're doing like a live event, like a music festival or something, this would be absolutely incredible. We've got 5 inputs along here, so I can switch between this shot, which is this one over there. We've got a side shot over there, that's number 3. We've got an overhead shot, which is number 4. Hello, that's me. Well, I've also got the iPad plugged in via HDMI to this as well, so you can, you know, have a look on Sprolink's website if you want to. We've got the website there, no lag or anything. And then you've actually got a media button here, and so, you know, if you're starting a live stream or something, you can press that there. That is what a live streaming switcher does. You use switches between sources that you plug into this. Now let's talk about sources, because it's got 4 HDMI in. And you've seen all the HDMI inputs, the different cameras I've got. It's also got 2 out, so you can monitor on 2 different devices. Over here, if I switch that one, I've got the actual program, the actual show that's going out on this. I've got it plugged into this screen so I can see what's on the screen, what you're seeing at any one time. And then over on the bigger screen, I've got my entire program with all the settings, the time recording, all the logos and everything that you can see as well on that bit over there. So I can keep track of the show, the recording, whatever I'm doing with this live switcher. If I dive into the menu and just show you here, we can actually live stream directly from this device. I've got a streaming URL and streaming key that I put in here. We can record. We can also set up the NDI settings there and reset as well. And we can connect it to Wi-Fi or Ethernet via this. Now, what that allows you to do is to use this device to live stream without a computer. If you haven't got a laptop, you haven't got a computer, you just want to live stream, you can buy this, connect it to an internet connection, Wi-Fi or Ethernet, and you can directly stream from this without the need of a computer. So you can see how powerful this device is. Now, I'm recording this entire video on this device. You can record directly to an SD card slot that's on the front or a USB storage device on the back. So we've got 2 different ways to actually store what I'm recording now. It's 1080p output and perfectly good for YouTube videos. So if you run like a studio or you're creating content or something like that, you can record directly onto your storage device as a program output with doing live switching between the different angles. We can show the iPad, I can do the overhead, and you can switch live whilst you're recording it. That's a more efficient way of recording YouTube videos, and that's the way I record YouTube videos all the time. It works seamlessly for me, you get used to it, and it's a really powerful tool to have when it comes to creating content. Over here you can see a little joystick. You can plug PTZ cameras into this where you can actually control it. So if you've got a PTZ camera, you can plug it in, move it around and control where the camera is looking at. That's a fantastic feature, and it supports direct import of JPEG and PNG files for use on the stream. So over here we've got some logo buttons. I can put logo 1 on, so I can say that I'm live. I can switch between different logos as well, and not only that, you can have another logo down the bottom. Like it, like the video if you like what you are seeing here. And you can flick between the different logos that you've got imported onto this, and then we can just simply turn them off if we want to. Audio wise, you've got a couple of options. You can live monitor it. You've got a monitor input there, and you can plug 2 input sources in the bottom here, which is 3.5mm. I've got the DJI receiver plugged in here for the DJI Mic Mini on me here. This is the transmitter, and that's the audio you're listening to now, baked right into the footage. And you can have it so it swaps to the video source that you're recording on, or just keeps follows the video. So whatever video source you're looking at on this stream, so I'll swap between these ones like that, or the overhead shot, you're still listening to the same audio like that, so you can program it to how you want to use the audio. It's your preference. Now, transitions, you've got a couple of ways to transition. I've got cut on at the moment, so it just simply cuts between. But we have got this we've got this T-bar which you can use to transition. So if I press this mode button there and do this, I'll select here which I want to switch to. I want to switch to that scene next. And if I transition like that, you can transition between the scenes. If I want to go back to that one, it goes back to the overhead shot. You can do some really cool effects with this, by the way, because I can just do like a half and half effect. You remember that on Top of the Pops back in the day when they used to do that cool half and half effect between the 2 shots they were doing? That's how they did it. They used a T-bar fader to actually transition between 2 different camera inputs. So you can do that. What you do is when you're using the T-bar, you just select the shot you want to do it next. So if I want to show you the iPad next, I select number 1 and I just select, and then you just press the T-bar. If I want to go to number 2, that's the T-bar shot. So you've got that T-bar mode. You've also got cut mode. So press the red button again here, the mode button, sorry, and you've got cut, auto, or fade to black. And then it just simply cuts between the different shots nice and seamlessly. That's how I like to use it, just because I can press the buttons and just change it quickly for this particular use case scenario. A couple of dials up here where you can control the audio. There's a phone's audio, there's volume, and there's delay. And that just helps you control the audio. Once you press this button, it switches on here to, if I show you that, just like that, it switches to the audio interface, so you can see you want to control the audio. I've got it on -3, the program output, but that's how you control the audio. And if you've got a little bit of a delay on your video compared to your audio, that you can customize that there and just adjust it. So that is how you can control the audio. And here, this button, by the way, is where you control the PTZ camera. And you've got different things here for switching between playing the media. If I press that, I can press pause and it stops media. I can press play and it plays a media. So there's lots and lots of different things you can do and lots of buttons, but we'll deep dive into it later on in the video. Built into this is actually here we've got Luma key. So if I switch between this, if I put the media button next and I press chroma key, there's Luma and chroma. So you can see that it sort of green screens out those bits, and you can see my hands in the shot. It's not a great example, but it's a clever way. If you're using a green screen, you can do it directly from here. So I can have a green screen behind me, and I can have an overlay behind me just showing a video or something, and me in the foreground, and you won't be able to see the background. So there's chroma key and Luma key built in directly to this. That's something I wish I'd had a long time ago. I'm going to utilize that definitely in the coming weeks and months. That is the basics of what you can do with this. It's a really, really powerful device. There's lots and lots of stuff to cover, and we'll take a deep dive into that now. I'm just going to run through all the buttons and explain a little bit more about the ports on the back and stuff. So yeah, make sure you do stay tuned for the rest of the video. Downsides, the output is only 1080p, and that is one of the downsides. That might be a deal breaker for you. For me, it's not. Most streaming platforms you know, only optimize for 1080p. There's not very many streaming platforms out there that accept 4K streaming because of the bandwidth that you need to actually do that. And if you can stream in 4K, a lot of streaming platforms charge you for that purpose as well. So not a massive deal for me. And the input is 4K, so you can record in 4K, but it only supports 4K 30, 50 and 60, not 24, 25 at the moment. So those are the only real down points that I've come across. Other than that, it's a bit of a learning curve to learn. You have to sort of learn how to do the scenes and stuff like that. Price wise, it's priced at $799, which is I mean, it seems like a lot, but if you think about something like the Rodecaster Video, which came out a few months ago, that was over $1,000. This is quite impressive. This has a built-in screen. It's got built-in Luma keying and everything. You can record directly, control a PTZ camera direct from this. You've got the T-bar. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this, and I've been super impressed with how it works. I've had no glitches, no problems, no crashing. The audio and the video quality I've been recording directly to the SD card has been pretty much perfect. No issues whatsoever. It's a very, very capable device, and I'm super impressed. If you do want to grab one, there is a link in the description down below. That is an affiliate link, and it helps this channel grow if you do purchase that link, but you don't have to. If I've got any other further discount codes, I'll put them in the pinned comment for you as well. But yeah, if you're after one of the most capable HDMI live streaming setups you can buy on the market, this is definitely an option to consider. Okay, welcome to the second half of this video. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you, a little bit more about this. There's some things I didn't cover in the first half of the video. One being that this on the back, what I can show you, has SDI. Now, SDI is basically, as far as I understand it, a higher version of HDMI. So if you're doing, for instance, if you're broadcasting a sports event and you've got your cameras in the stadium, you're running the cables for a long distance to the van outside the stadium, and then you've got a DP in another room that you want to see. This has got SDI in and out. So that allows you to run the cable for hundreds of meters. You won't be able to do that with HDMI. You'd lose quality. You'd have quite a bit of latency over HDMI, sorry. So SDI is built into this, and that is one of the big updates of this new R5 Pro. You've got that in there. So yeah, you can see there, these are the SDI ports. Underneath you've got the HDMI ports just for running up to probably, I'd say, 50 meters plus. You want to go to SDI. Anything under the 50 meters, then you're okay with HDMI. So that's one of the massive pluses about this thing. It's a very broadcast quality device. You've got the Ethernet there plugged in there, so I can stream directly from this. And on the side here, we've got the microphone ports and the USB-C ports, a USB-A port for putting another storage device into there, and the SD port on the front here for putting the SD card in to record this device. So let me just give you a rundown of the screen. So you can see the screen is, it's not touchscreen unfortunately, but it's 5.5 inches, which is pretty good. If you haven't got a monitor like this I have in front of me, you can actually, let me just show you this. This is a scene button. So I've got scene set up. There we go. So this is the scene. I can talk to you and you can see me there. So basically we press scene, and I've set these different scenes up so you can see what I can do. So you can set 4 of these scenes, and you've got the scene. Oh, you can actually set 5 up, which is pretty cool. So we've got a side by side there, an overhead and a side by side, so you can switch between those scenes. That's what you're seeing on this program now. So let me just show you what's going on side by side. So top, we've got the screen, 5.5 inches, bright. It's really clear. It's a bit blown out on the image here, but to me it's at really, really good quality. We've got the audio controls there. We've got PTZ camera there. We've got record button, stream button, file button. We've got start and stop and skip buttons there for the different media sources that you've got plugged into this for, switching between your start stream, end stream kind of thing. Super source, which we've talked about. We've got auxiliary and MV, which sort of just switches between the outputs here. If I'm looking at the auxiliary port there or whatever, it changes the view for you. scene, and then we've got the picture-in-picture. You can program these picture-in-pictures here, so you can have a picture-in-picture in the screen rather than doing these scenes. We've got Luma and chroma key there, which is wicked. We've also got logos, which we've talked about in the stream. You can add logos in there. You can press them on air if you want to, and switch between the images as well. So you could have multiple images loaded onto the SD card and switch between them depending on what you want to have on there. So you've got different ways of putting lower thirds on here as well. You can load those in to the logo button. This little dial which controls most of the menu control. We've got fade to black, cut, auto, menu, off button, which is something that some streamers don't have, like the Blackmagic ones don't actually have a physical off button, and so you just have to pull the plug to turn it off. That's what I was really annoying about Blackmagic when I use that. This has a physical off and on button, which is really good. So let me just dive into the menu for you. We've got input, and you can control all the different inputs, and you can flip them, you can change the resolutions and stuff like that. You've got output, so you can, like I mentioned, you can change your output. If I switch to this over there, let's turn off the picture. So if I show you this screen, so I've got the output is number 1 for auxiliary, and I can switch between the different outputs. You can see it switching on the screen there. I like to have it on the overhead shot because it helps me see what you're seeing on this, and hopefully it hasn't been flickering all the way through this video. So yeah, you've got the different outputs. Menu wise, you've got layers, which you can program the different layers that you've got, the different video layers, and switch between them for the scenes. You've got effects here, so you can add the different effects. So your transitions are all there, which is awesome. And then you can customize the color of them. There's loads and loads of different things you can do. And then we'll go out of here. You've got keying, LumaFusion, chroma settings there. You can change the color of your chroma or luma key to blue or whatever color you want it to be from here. You've got audio settings, which is really handy. You've got scenes, which you can program them like I have with here. And then you can go back to media. This is where you control your media pool. You go to file. You've got webcam control, NDI control, pull stream. You've got all these different things in here to control. You've got your graphics, which you can add. You've got logos, lower thirds you can add in there. We've got different images. You can change the style. You can cut the speed. There's loads of customization things you can do for all the graphics and stuff. And then you've got the PTZ camera control here. You can customize different views, so you want it pointing that way, you can customize it to have up to 10 different views, so presets for your cameras, which is pretty crazy. And then over here you've got your settings, so you can control your stream key, your record, you can see how much you've got in there, and then your fan control and stuff like that. It's really great quality. So yeah, there's a lot to cover. You've got the T-bar there, and I probably haven't covered half of the stuff that you can do with this, but it's very powerful. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to know anything else about this. If there's any other information, any things you want to know, I'll try and make a separate video on that for you further on down the line. But it's a phenomenal device, and I've been very impressed with it. Although it is a lot to take in originally, once you start diving deep into this, you're like, wow, it's pretty incredible what you can do with this thing. So great device. Thanks for Sprolink for sending this to test out. It's a cracking product, and well worth the $7.99, although it is a bit of an investment. Okay, that's it for this one. Make sure you subscribe, press the bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I shall see you soon. Thanks guys, bye.